What's up, everybody? Here again, it's in the DA. And you know, the most interesting thing about this Variety article that we've been covering over the last couple of days is that there's nobody really surprised at anything that's going on in this article. Nobody's really shocked. Like, we might be hearing some new information. Oh, I didn't know that was going on. But we're not surprised by all of the bad news that's been going on with Marvel. We're not surprised that the Marvels, this Carol Danvers, Brie Larson film, that this thing is about to tank in the box office. Nobody's shocked at that. We're not surprised that Blade went through all of those rewrites. We're not really surprised that it was a female-led storyline with Blade chilling on the bench somewhere, not even a part of his own film, relegated to like the 4th position. I mean, we're not really surprised by that, are we? You know, we're not surprised by the fact that they were going to bring back the OG Avengers because these cats that's on the screen aren't getting the job done. Nobody is shocked at any of this. Again, we might be interested. Oh, okay, that's interesting information, but nobody is surprised because we've seen all of this coming. We saw it coming miles and miles and miles away. We've been talking about it forever and a day. So that's why everybody's just like, yeah, sure, okay. What else is new? Oh, Marvel is in trouble? Gee, you don't say. Yeah, you're damn right they're in trouble. They haven't figured out how to capitalize on all of the success they had in the first 3 phases. They went super woke. They went all into the tank. And now, even one of their most popular shows is just absolutely a nothing burger. Nobody's checking for this. Yeah, here we go on comicbook.com. Marvel's Loki Season 2 premiere ratings lower than Season 1. Yeah, we have been trying to find this information. Normally, Samba TV, they put that information out there like within a couple of days, and we would have been able to talk about this like back when the series first started. But they never gave us those numbers, so we've been waiting for the Nielsen ratings to come out, and here they are. All right, folks, so what we got here, this is the Nielsen numbers for the week that Loki premiered, Loki Season 2 premiered. These are the Nielsen numbers, and this is the top 10. You'll notice there is no Loki anywhere on this top 10. You got some Disney Plus stuff. You got the Haunted Mansion out here. You got Bluey. You got Elemental, but you don't have Loki because nobody was watching this thing. And we kept saying that. Like, nobody's talking about this. There's no buzz. Where's the buzz? Remember, Loki Season 1, that was the most popular thing that Marvel's ever done, at least in terms of television. It's like the Avengers Endgame of the MCU TV on Disney Plus. That's Loki Season 1. It is the most watched thing that they've ever had. And, you know, Season 2, you would expect, okay, everybody's going to be seeing the follow-up. Let's see what happens. Let's build upon that. We got Season 2 of Loki. You would have to think that this thing is going to be ginormous in terms of minutes viewed, in terms of buzz and popularity. Crickets. We heard nothing. We couldn't find any information. And I went out to Samba TV and I was like, hey, Samba, what you doing? Where's the information? No, we ain't gonna get nothing to you right now. Maybe something later down the line. That's what Samba told us. So we'll see if they give us any numbers to compare it to. But we already knew. Loki wasn't it. And yeah, you got to go to the original programming. So here's the originals, all the original stuff. And here's Loki right here in 6th place. You see these 7 episodes. It's basically including the entirety of Season 1 plus the first episode of Season 2. So that's why it's 7, because there's only 6 episodes per season. And yeah, only 446 million minutes. So there's a possibility that there's some of this stuff in this 446 million minutes. There's a possibility some of that is still Season 1. So we really don't know like exactly how much. But nevertheless, nobody was checking for this thing. We could pretty much guess that most of this is Season 2, Episode 1. But yeah, there we go. We got some numbers. We got some hard data that proves basically what we all kind of knew. Again, nobody is surprised at this. This doesn't catch anybody off guard. Nope, nobody's watching Loki. That's exactly what I thought. When I was crawling all over X Twitter trying to find some information, nobody's talking about this thing. And as it says here, Marvel's acclaimed series hasn't been quite as big in its 2nd season. Let's go ahead and check this article out. Loki remains one of the most critically acclaimed TV projects from Marvel Studios to date, and it's still the only television project from the studio to return for a 2nd season. There's no denying that Tom Hiddleston's starring series is immensely popular, but the streaming numbers for the new season haven't quite stood up to the first. No kidding. According to the latest streaming data from Nielsen, Loki's 2nd season premiere saw a significant drop from the premiere back in 2021. The company's new numbers revealed that Loki Season 2 premiere from October 5 rounded up 446 million minutes of viewing time over its first 3 days on Disney+. The first season premiere pulled roughly 731 million minutes of viewing time based on Nielsen metrics. That's a 39% drop from season 1 to season 2. So that's 40% of your audience right there, folks. 40% of folks said, I'm out, I'm checked out, I'm done. And honestly, going into episodes 2 and 3 and 4, I guarantee you that number is going to keep dropping. Because people watched it, they saw it, they were like, I don't really know what's going on here. I got to go back and watch the original one just to kind of remember. Oh, yeah. And then the story that they're telling right now is just kind of like a nothing burger. Like, I don't care. I don't know why I should have to care about any of this. Marvel has a DGAF problem. DGAF. You put the letters together if you don't know what it means. They got a DGAF problem with their audience. Their audience is like, so why should I give a F about anything that's happening here? Are you kidding me? So yeah, that's the biggest issue right now with Marvel, and nobody's surprised. Nobody is surprised. We expect this to be Marvel going forward. Everybody is like, I'm done. I'm checked out. This thing is whack. The content is bad now. It's just nobody's surprised. There are obviously multiple things potentially attributing to that drop, including the fact that the first season of Loki was one of the first MCU projects to be released after the start of the COVID-19. Oh my God, here we go. Here we go. Oh, it's the pandemic. Man, they're going to blame the pandemic for everything that happens, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. 2023 has also seen a couple of poorly reviewed projects from Marvel Studios, including Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and the Secret Invasion series, which may have caused less interest in the overall franchise. It's been a dumpster fire since Phase 4 even started. That's the problem. Nobody cares about if this was the only problem, if these two, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and Secret Invasion, if these were the only two problems, people probably would have been hyped for Loki. Like, oh man, everything's been great up until now. Oh shit, they're getting back to Loki. Great, let's go. I'm ready for this. I'm ready, man. I love Loki season 1. There would have been all kinds of people hyped up for this. Anybody hyped? Is anybody hyped up? Is anybody excited about this? Of course not. Nobody cares about this thing. Like it says here, right, at the very beginning, right? Yeah, it was like, okay, first season of Loki, one of the first MCU projects to be released. See, a lot of people had already checked out after Endgame. Once Endgame dropped, people were like, it's Endgame. The game is over. That's it. We're done. But there were still some people that's like, okay, you know, we got a Phase 4 coming. It's got some new MCU projects. Let's check it out. Show us what you're working with. And then they gave us WandaVision. And then they gave us Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Then they gave us Loki. And the more things started to unfold, everybody like they not working with much at all. They're not working with anything. So why am I sticking around? I'm out. Deuces. I'm gone. And that's basically what's leading to this lack of viewership. Loki delivered a shock twist at the end of the 4th episode of season 2, essentially ending the TVA as we all knew it and sending fans into the great unknown for the last 2 episodes of the season. According to series composer Natalie Hope, those final 2 episodes are a sight to behold. So I did actually force myself. I hadn't watched episode 4 until today. I watched episode 4, then I watched episode 5 back to back. Just so I can say, all right, is there a good story here? Listen, episode 4 was a snooze fest, in my opinion. Now, 5 had a little bit more meat on the bone. It's actually not a bad episode of television, but nobody cares at this point. You can't entice people with stuff. Hey, man, this is quality. This is great. Look at the actors, this, that. Marvel built itself with all of these minor kind of ancillary characters, secondary characters. They built it on the strength of the entire franchise. Like they said right here, okay? The overall franchise is why people cared about Loki. If you just had Loki standing out there on his own with no MCU, there would be no interest. There wouldn't have been an interest in a lot of these characters without a cohesive whole MCU that made sense, was a long, ongoing story that people could follow. But nobody can follow this stuff because you don't know what's happening. Right now, we're about 20 movies / television shows into this, multiverse saga. That's where we are right now with this multiverse saga. About 20 things, TV shows and movies, and nobody knows what's happening. What's the story? Remember with the Infinity Saga? The Infinity Saga was 23 films. So we're like at the same pace. If we were at the same pace, like we would be still long. Like nobody knows what this story is. What is the story? Where are we headed? I know Kang is involved somehow. I know that there's a Doctor Strange and a multiverse of madness. There was a multiverse thing with Spider-Man. I didn't think maybe something's going to be happening with this Miss Marvel or this the Marvels. But what does any of this mean? How does Moon Knight connect to any of this? Does Moon Knight connect? How does Hawkeye connect? How does any of this stuff connect to each other? We have no clue because they're still telling the story. They haven't really gotten to the point. By this point in the original Infinity Saga, after about 20 movies, all right, we knew exactly what was going on. We knew what was happening with Thanos. We knew Thanos, hell, we knew Thanos was after the Infinity Stones back with Guardians 1. So we already knew what to expect. We knew the story. We were just watching it unfold. But they gave us enough, tidbits of information. They didn't slow walk it like this. And again, yeah, it's only been like a year and a half, 2 years into this particular saga, the 4th and 5th phases of Marvel. But again, with all of the content they're giving us, they got to give us more of a story that connects all of this stuff together. So yeah, Loki is like multiversal, and that's fine. But I mean, everything else that's out there is like, I don't know. I don't care. All right, DGAF. That's basically the problem right here. I can't wait for people to see episode 6, Holt Told Comic Book Movie. So that's the writer, right? Holt. And for me, it was the most just satisfying thing to write. Yeah, I kind of feel like so emotionally tied up with the character because I've been working on the show for such a long time now, what it feels like. And you know what happens to Loki? I feel like I go on this journey with them every time I work on the season. So I just feel, all of this stuff sounds great for the writer, but the fans ain't feeling none of this. The fans aren't feeling any of this, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah, you had a great time. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. The rest of us would have liked to enjoy this season too. Unfortunately, again, this whole thing comes off as a nothing burger. I'm sure there's going to be some intricate plot points that are going to be all laid out, where you get your little diagram and you start trying to figure things out. I'm sure all of that stuff exists, but nobody cares. DGAF. You couldn't make people care about a character everybody loved from the Infinity Saga, and that's Loki. You couldn't make anybody care about this. People have 1,000% checked out. That's why the ratings and the viewership is in the tank. And Marvel, you got nobody to blame but yourselves. And once again, none of us are surprised at any of this. Anyway, folks, you guys let me know what you think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.